Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, we'll be going into a step-by-step guide to make reading a habit. It is something that I personally struggled with, and you might not believe this, but back in 2018 and like 19, I wasn't reading that much. I just started my reading journey and it was really difficult for me to read books. First, I would start reading a book and that would be really awesome. I would read a few pages, I would read 20-30 pages, but then I will goof off. I will stop reading the book. I will stop reading that book for days, for weeks, and that would make me feel bad. That would make me feel shitty about myself. And then I will start reading that book again. And it took me around 2 to 3 months to finish one book. Back then. But after that, I saw a tweet by Mark Manson. Yes, the author of the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And if you aren't even into the self-improvement space, even if you don't know anything about self-improvement, you might have heard of that book or might have seen that book somewhere because it's that popular and there are good reasons why it's that popular. And a tweet by Mark Manson was the no bullshit way to make reading a habit. And there he outlined 3 steps. And believe me, I applied those 3 steps and boom, reading was a lifetime habit for me. And I currently, even after having a 9 to 5, like it is actually 10 to 7, I work 9 hours. And having this YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn stuff, I still am able to find 30 to 1 hour every day to make reading a habit. And all of this is because I read the tweet and applied the 3-step process. And in this video, I am going to share with you the 3-step process that Mark Manson recommends and that has made me and countless million others help make reading a habit. So let's go over it. Step number 1. Pick a book that you are genuinely curious about. Now here is the word genuine curiosity. The thing is that most of us pick up a book because someone else recommended it to us. And someone told us that this book is going to make you rich. No. Are you genuinely interested about this book? Are you genuinely curious about this book? Because curiosity differs from person to person. You might be curious about sneakers, you might be curious about football, but I am not. I haven't even watched a single football match in my life. So I am not curious about the life of a footballer or life of a basketball player like Kobe Bryant. I don't know much about him. I don't know anything about UFC. But you might be interested in that. You might be interested in reading books written by UFC fighters or basketball players or football players. But I will not be. And that is where genuine curiosity comes in place. Are you genuinely curious to read that book? Or is someone else persuading you to read that book? Like, are you being motivated because someone else told you that this book is going to make you rich? Or are you genuinely thinking that this book will make you rich? If you are genuinely curious about it, then only pick a book. That is the only criteria you should be following to pick up a book. And the second step. In the second step, there are 2 things that can happen. Either you are going to keep reading the book, or second, you are going to drop the book. And most of the people feel ashamed to drop a book, and this is because of the societal conditioning. Like in the school, they have been taught that if you don't finish a book, if you don't complete the book and finish the question and answer, finish the notes, then they are going to fail. And they carry that same mindset in their subconscious brain to real life too. In real life, the more books you drop, the more closer you will be to the books that actually change your life. Like, people are afraid to drop a book, they read a book page to page, and those are all conventional ways to reading that was taught to you in school for academics. But real life is not academics, it's beyond that. It's much more important for you to drop as many books as you can. Because the more books you drop, the more closer you will be to reaching the books that will actually impact your life positively. So, the second step is either 2 things are going to happen. You are going to keep reading the book or you are going to drop. So, the second step is drop a book that you are not genuinely interested in right now. Now, let's go to the third step. The third step is pick up another book that you are genuinely curious about. So, let me summarize. The first step was pick a book that you are genuinely curious about. Second step was drop the book that you have lost interest in. And the third step is pick up another book like that you are generally curious about. And the fourth step is repeat that process. Repeat this 3-step process over and over and over again, and you will make reading a habit. And another thing that most people ask me is that the time. They don't have time to make reading. They don't have time to read books. And I want to address it by saying the point that if you make anything a priority, you will find time for it. There is there is no such thing that you will have time for something. If you prioritize someone, a person in your life, then you will definitely find time for them. If you prioritize an activity, for example, gym, reading books, meditating, you will automatically find time for those activities. It's all about your priorities, not about time management. And another thing that might likely help you is environmental design. Environmental design is like designing your environment to make to crave you the things that you want. For example, if you keep a chocolate in front of you, it is obvious that you are going to crave that chocolate. It's obvious that you want to eat the chocolate. And the same thing goes for books. I don't keep my books in the closet like most people do. I keep them scattered around the room, because of which whenever I reach the room, I will get the cue to pick up that book because it's in front of me. I can see that visually. Visual cues are really strong. You need to believe me on that. If you see like porn or any kind of sexual image on Instagram or any other sites, on Google maybe, you will have the urge to fap. You will have the urge to masturbate. That is how powerful visual cues are. So I'm telling you to get those books out of your cupboard and scatter that around your room, around your living area, around your TV, and any of the places that you will visit in the house. That will give you the physical cues to read that book. So these are the tips that really can help you make reading a habit. And if you're still struggling, I'm actually in the process of writing a book. And the book is titled Read to Unlearn, the counterintuitive approach to reading. And it will be out by the end of October, and I think I'll be releasing it first on my newsletter. So if you don't want to miss out on that, subscribe to my newsletter right now. So that's it for today's video, and if you like today's video, subscribe to us, because here we help young men become the version of themselves. So see you in another video, and until then, have a great time.